I'm Shanti Pereira.
Hello, and I'm Anup Kumar.
In today's program, we have our drama, a documentary, and in the face-to-face segment, I will be talking to one of the directors of the Asia Pacific Voice newspaper, Satish Rai. But first, let's catch up with what happened in our last week's episode of Flight from a Paradise.
Hey guys, nice to see you again. So what brings you to my humble office?
Neil, we need to speak to Pooja. I want Sanjay's address. Too busy to call your husband, Pooja?
My husband? Oh, you mean Karan. I did try calling him a few times, just didn't get a hold of him.
Jackie, Pooja is not yet here yet. She could have taken a day off for us today.
Now let's continue with the story of A Flight from a Paradise.
If you don't want to hear what I have to say, piss off. Hey, don't talk to my dad like this. Can you just call my mom? Just call her.
Aman, just wait here, and I'll go and get Pooja.
Let's go. Karan, Pooja is my wife. She's living with me as my wife. Do you understand?
She married you to get a PR, dear. And since we all are here, once she gets a PR, we will all be living together. You are making a great mistake here, because once she gets a PR, she will divorce you. And as we are here, we will be living together. Can you call her, please?
Karan, Pooja does not want to see you anymore. She's mine now, for good.
What do you mean that you and Pooja,
Karan, I'm sorry. We just could not help each other. We are so much in love. She does not want to see you anymore at the moment. She doesn't want to talk to you now. But she's going to call you about Aman later. I think you should go now.
yes. Aman, we are going now.
heard you and Sanjay talking. Is it true?
I don't want to talk about it right now. No.
You know, I'm not a kid anymore. I want to know what's going on here.
Everything has been destroyed. Everything. I don't know what we will do now.
Please tell me. I want to help.
Son, no one can help us now. No one. It is too late. It is just too late.
Karan, I'm sorry. I've been busy with work and it never entered my mind that Pooja and Sanjay.
Dad, what's happening here? What have Mom done?
How can I tell you, Aman, that your mom... That your mom...
Call an ambulance. What? Just bring the phone and calm down. Just bring the phone. Okay? Hurry up. Karan, just bring the phone. Hurry up. Karan, look at... Hello? Yes, ambulance. My friend is dying. Karan, come on, Karan. What's wrong? Karan, no, Karan.
Well, we are hoping you're enjoying our drama series. If you have any comments or if you want to be a part of our future productions, please contact us on rai2@iprimers.com.au.
Hello, I'm Anup Kumar. Welcome to India Tourism Sydney and Raivision's film documentary presentation, Milap, A Royal Discovery. In the last episode, you may have witnessed Satish Rai and his team arrive in Uttar Pradesh in India, and they try to track down the ancestral route of one of the indentured Indian worker who was taken to Fiji from the district of Gonda. Having little success in Gonda, the team decided to proceed towards Satish Rai's own ancestral village, some 40 kilometers further. However, he came across some disappointing news about the relatives of his grandmother when he arrived at the Indian Tourist Office's Banrampur. That reminded him of another rather disappointing visit he made just a few days ago in Rajasthan. We pick up the story from there. The Karoli Palace in which we stayed suggested good things to follow. It was a great experience for the team to share the palace with the Maharaja of Karoli, half of which he converted into hotel. The India tourism officers in Jaipur had requested some members of the palace staff to make local enquiries about Bansi, who according to his Girmit immigration pass lived in village of Futokot and Kotwali police district of Karoli. We slept happily knowing that nearly positive identification had been made by a Thakur Vijay Singh, who lived in Futokot himself. The feel-good factor, however, began to disappear fast as we made our way through old and decaying remnants of once thriving city of the former Maharaja of Karoli. It was explained to us by the palace guide that after the Maharaja lost his estate to the Indian government, his former estate began to decay fast, and today it is in ruins. Apparently, the Maharaja, not the government, invested anything in the area. By the time we reached Thakur Vijay Singh's place, we gathered that the Thakurs of Karoli were far from the idealistic Thakurs of our imagination. Vijay Singh explained to us that the local Thakurs were in employment of the Maharaja, who provided them only small homes to live in, as the Thakur clans of Karoli provided soldiers to Maharaja's military force. Once the Maharaja lost his estate, the Thakurs were made redundant, and without any land to fall back on, they had to engage themselves in jobs to survive. Vijay Singh himself owned a small public telephone fax service in Futokot. About his research on Bansi's route, he explained to us that he first established that Bansi's father's name was Narayan. He then contacted families of all the Narayans in the area who were from Thakur family. He discounted 2 of them as no one had migrated from the area. From the third one, he spoke to an old lady who claimed to be a distant relative of Narayan. She remembers that Bansi had left his home around 1900 and never returned to Futokot.
ऐसा सुनो, जैसे मैं जो बता रहा हूँ, बाया बोल सकेगी क्या? जैसे तुम्हारे नाना का नाम जो है क्या था? बड़े नाना का नाम नारायण। बड़े नाना का नाम क्या था? नारायण। और तुम्हारे नाना का क्या नाम था? हनुमान। तुम्हारे नाना का नाम हनुमान था। और बंसी नाना और हनुमान कौन थे? भैया थे। अच्छा। और तुमसे ये बात किसने कही कि? हमारी माँ की थी। तुम्हारी माँ ने कहा था? हमारी नानी की थी। तुम्हारी नानी ने कहा था। बंसी के बारे में क्या कहा? बंसी के बारे में क्या बताया था तुमको? बंसी के बारे में ये नौकरी थी, अरे कोई कुटुंब पर नहीं गए और सभी खत्म हो गए। हाँ। निकल गए? अच्छा। चला गया। कहाँ? ये बता के गया? नहीं, कोई नहीं बताया। बता के नहीं गया? ऐसा है, आपने अपनी नानी के लिए क्या कह रही थी? अभी खाना पानी में लाती नानी के काज, बंसी नाना की बहन के काज है, इनकी बहन को मैं खाना लाती छोटी सी। बंसी नाना की बहन के लिए ये खाना लेके खुद खिला के जाती। अच्छा। मरती समय पागल और वो बहुत परेशान करती, यहाँ बैठा मतलब यहाँ बैठाइए मुझे वहाँ बैठाइए। इतनी सोची नहीं, पागल सी है मरती समय मैं उसको लाती मेरे शरीर से लेके आती। कभी बात करती थी बस से भाई के बारे में? एक भाई के बारे में हम अब मन से तो नहीं कहते, तुम्हारा भूख नहीं किया था तो नहीं कहती को मिलो मेरे तो मर गए सब, बड़ी गई निकल गए खाना। हम टाइप डालते खाना पीना पीते होती। इनके बारे में बताया गया कि वो इधर उधर हो गए, अब पक गए मर गए, क्या हुआ उनका कोई पता नहीं है। तो इनके लिए ये जो उनकी बच्ची की लड़की थी बड़ी वाली, वो उनके लिए खाना वगैरह लेके आती थी।
We were informed that after Narayan and his second son, Hanuman's death, their home fell into ruins. and remains the same. Her family did not have sufficient funds even to construct another house there. They hope that their relatives in Fiji will return to Futokot to claim the land and build a house there. As we left Futokot, we were happy that we may have found the root of my friend in Fiji. But we were also aware that it may not be what we have been imagining his ancestral land in Rajasthan to be. Instead of a large farmhouse with farmstead and stallions, we had found a small plot of land in a narrow lane, which no doubt was part of a thriving city during the Maharaja of Karoli's rule. Back in Balrampur, Satish Rai imagined a prospect of similar disappointment about his family, which they were on the way to meet. He was informed the previous evening that his family in Sridat Ganj, some 17 kilometers from Balrampur, were Muslims, but who still carried the surname Rai. He was disappointed that as his grandmother was a Hindu, she could not be related to a Muslim, and therefore even his fourth trip to India may turn out to be a personal disappointment. However, he decided to pursue the lead and arrived in Sridat Ganj. Upon his arrival in Sridat Ganj, he was introduced to his 94-year-old uncle, Dhoke Rai, and his cousins, Naim, Nisar, and Lalla Rai. After introductions, they escorted the team to their village home, where, according to them, Satish Rai's grandmother, Gokul Dei, was born in.
Well, that is the end of today's episode, Milap, a Royal Discovery.
In today's face-to-face segment, we will be meeting Satish Rai, one of the senior journalists and a director of the newspaper Asia Pacific Voice. Satish, welcome to Face-to-Face.
Thank you, Chandi.
Satish, you have a very interesting lead storyline this time in the newspaper. Why Bhojpuri?
Chandi, Bhojpuri language is a very ancient language of India, but until recently, not much interest was shown in it, although about 200 million Indians in northern India speak the language, and some 10 million overseas Indians speak the language, and for some reason little had been done or known about Bhojpuri language until about 2 years ago.
So, what brought about this change?
Well, Chandi, suddenly there's a huge interest in Bhojpuri films, and practically most of the actors, big actors like Ajay Devgan, Amitabh Bachchan, Hema Malini, they're all heading towards Bhojpuri films. They're heading towards Uttar Pradesh to make films there. And that started only about 2 years ago. And I feel that the Bhojpuri film is going to take the Bhojpuri language to new heights.
You mentioned there are about 10 million overseas Indians who speak Bhojpuri. Where are these Indians based?
Well, Chandi, after the abolition of slavery around 1835, the British and other European governments started to take Indians to their colonies such as Suriname, Mauritius, Trinidad, South Africa, and Fiji. Some 1.2 million Indians were taken in this way to these countries, and now they've turned to about 10 million people living in those original British colonies, and then a lot of also like us have migrated to Australia, New Zealand, UK, Canada and USA, Holland and other countries like that. And these people, because majority of the people who are taken under the indenture system, which is now commonly known as the Grimit system, they were taken from Bihar and UP area, and they spoke Bhojpuri. And even today, they speak sort of Bhojpuri language.
So, what's happening in the Bhojpuri field in these countries?
In these countries, mainly in the West Indies, in Mauritius, Bhojpuri language is expressed through music. You and perhaps the viewers would know of the chutney music, very famous in Suriname, Trinidad, in Guyana, and Mauritius. But in Fiji, there's no such thing as chutney music, but there are people who are singing or have been singing Bhojpuri songs, mainly in weddings. But now we've got people like Vidya Lok and Kumar who have recorded CDs in Bhojpuri. And also in Fiji, Professor Subramani has written a book called Doga Puran, which is written in Bhojpuri and is believed to be the first book of such kind written in Bhojpuri.
Satish, I understand that you have recorded a Bhojpuri music video yourself here in Sydney. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, Chandi, recently elderly lady, Mrs. Ramrati Babulal Singh, who is about 84 years old and has been singing Bhojpuri songs for many, many years, visited her family here in Australia and had the opportunity to record her songs on the camera, and we have since then made a DVD of those songs, which will be released shortly in Sydney.
So, as you see it, how is the future looking for Bhojpuri?
Well, Chandi, with Bollywood megastars taking such huge interest in Bhojpuri films and the worldwide interest amongst the overseas Indians in the language, and with 200 million people speaking the language, I see great future for Bhojpuri language.
Now, let's talk briefly about FISCA. Film and Arts Festival mentioned in the Asia Pacific Voice newspaper. Satish.
Well, Chan, the FISCA's Film and Arts Festival is a joint project between this newspaper, the Asia Pacific Voice newspaper, FISCA, which stands for Fiji Indian Cultural Society of Australia, a few other organizations, business houses, and individuals. And this festival is being organized to promote the existing creative artists in our society and to encourage the huge number of creative artists we have in our community to come forward and showcase their creative talents.
That brings us to the end of today's program on Fiji TV. If you have any comments or suggestions on our program,
Or if you wish to be a part of Fiji TV production, you can contact Satish Rai, and that's all from my side. Goodbye.
goodbye and have a good week.